graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Hello everybody and welcome to The Blacklist, Episode 2. My name's Tony and I'm joined by Jason.
Hey!
And we have a brand new special guest. If you wanted to take a second, introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are.
Okay. David Bates. I'm the singer and guitarist for the Chicago horror metal band Sinister Fate.
Yay!
Nice. And we figured we'd bring him in. It'd be fitting for our second episode dedicated to October and the Halloween season. So we thought he'd be a great fit with us here today. I figured maybe if you wanted to take a quick second, because there was quite a few good discussions from our first episode that maybe you could let everybody know. You could quickly go through if you remember at all your first horror movie memory from when you were a child.
First horror movie I ever saw, I want to say it was called Hell House. It had Linda Blair in it. I was like about 5 or 6 years old. I think it's when I first started watching horror movies. My sister, she used to basically, she would babysit me. My parents would go out, and on Friday nights, they used to show horror movies on NBC. And afterwards, they show like Friday night videos and stuff like that. It was sort of like the generic MTV for the people who didn't have cable.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know,
Dave's old like us.
Yeah, I remember watching Prince go and just feeling dirty, and I didn't know why. And
My pants is tingling.
I'm watching him crawl out of a bathtub. What the fuck is going on? Is this porn? Is this what it looks like? So I remember like watching Hell House and like watching a lot of really weird like 80s horror movies that used to be on like on NBC that they used to show or were allowed to show. And from there it grew out. Like I would go to the video store and I would just rent anything that had horror in it. I would, my dad would pretty much let me rent whatever. Gonna give you nightmares? No, I don't think so. All right, whatever.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that last week too. How it was like our parents were letting us watch shit when it was just so age inappropriate for half the script. It was great. Two more things, and then you're pretty much all caught up. Obviously, we went at great lengths last time, but if you had any ghost stories you'd like to share, and also what's your favorite horror movie series?
Ghost stories. My parents' house was actually haunted as hell. It was ridiculously haunted in the attic, and my room happened to be in the attic.
That's why I was laughing. I've been in there twice.
Is it really that messed up?
Oh yeah, dude. It's like unfinished attic.
You get there like this weird, and I find out like a relative of mine committed suicide in the attic. So that's another add-on for that. But yeah, you'd be sitting there and you just get the feeling you're being watched, and you just get that weird vibe. Like as I'd be coming down like the stairs, like leaving like the attic area, it'd feel like something was following me or gonna push me down the stairs or something like that. It was really, really, really fucked up.
That's actually really cool.
Really, really quick. Was it you or our mutual friend of ours, Bill, that used to have the little black figure thing that would run across the floor?
It was both.
Yeah?
I used to when I was younger, I used to definitely fuck around with shit that I probably shouldn't have.
Come on.
That's what we're here for, man.
Like Ouija board stuff, witchcraft and just a whole bunch of really, stupid stuff that you did as a kid. And like I remember, seeing black shapes, that would, you'd catch out of the corner of your eye. And actually one in particular time, me and Bill, we were upstairs, and like he was crashing by my place, and my bed was more sort of towards in the corner near a wall, and I had like a lazy boy, like at the foot of my bed, basically, fold out from a chair into like fold out type bed, and he was sitting there, and we're about to crash out. It was after a night of drinking at this bowling alley we used to hang out at, and so.
It was my bowling alley.
It was his bowling alley. So after a night of Jay's mom getting us really ridiculously drunk, we were crashing out, and I hear Bill just sort of say, all right, dude, quit fucking around.
Yeah, you gotta do it in his voice.
Dude, quit fucking around. And I'm like, I'm like half asleep, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He goes, dude, quit standing over me. Dude, I'm not standing over you. "What are you talking about? You're standing right next to me." And then, like, because my bed was right next to the wall, I go, "I'm right here." And it gets really quiet. And I hear, "Oh, shit." So I'm like, "Oh, crap." So I start, like, sort of peeking up from under my covers to look down at the foot of my bed, and I see this big black shape just sort of towering over him. And I'm like, "Oh, shit, dude." He's like, "What?" I'm like, there's something standing over you." And I'm like, "Don't move." So I, like, got up real quick, turned on a light, the thing went away, and...
That's fucking awesome.
Who had? I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
I was waiting for him because I had more to go into. But who had the fucking reclining chair that reclined into the closet?
Oh, that was Alan.
That was creepy as shit too.
I don't know why you would have, like, it was like his chair would, like, sort of like, it would, when you fold it back, it would go right, so your head would be, like, in the closet like a guillotine. And that's how I would felt every time, like, I leaned back and I'd be like...
Your head's in a different room than your body.
That's a little messed up.
Yeah, but there was, like, weird shit in that closet.
I'd pull the chair, like, right out in front of you, but what are you moving it for? I'm like, because I don't fucking feel like my head getting cut off. Ass.
Nice. Favorite horror series? I mean, look at his arms.
Well, I know we're like throwing him on the spot, though. I feel bad. Like everything's all at once. It's like, do it all.
That's how we do this shit.
I could, like, are you talking like, say, the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, the like?
Yeah.
Like
Well, because I mean, everybody. Well, I think I don't even think we got into our favorite horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be a really cool way to close out this little mini series we're doing at the end of today. But like series wise, did we even answer this?
Well, you did. I answered mine. Mine's
yours
Friday the 13th.
Yours was Jason, and mine was Halloween, and we were kind of duking it out last week.
A little bit, yeah.
I'd probably say my favorite series is Hellraiser.
It's another great one.
Which we didn't bring up last week.
We didn't. We didn't bring up him. We missed Candyman.
We missed.
You didn't miss much with Candyman.
Well, just some series from my childhood that we kind of missed out on. So
yeah, I'm a big on Hellraiser.
Before we jump into the
meat of today,
the meat of today. I want Dave here since he's extremely influenced by the horror genre in pretty much everything he does. Especially his band. I want to give him the floor and let him tell us about it a little bit and how it came to be and where the inspiration was and everything like that. Literally, we could probably take a couple pictures later if we want and post them up. The dude's got you got a full sleeve now, right? You got one full sleeve. And then you got a couple sporadic ones on the other arm. 90% of this guy's tattoos,
on the inside.
90% of his tattoos are horror and or horror movie or
scary,
kind of theme going on there.
Nice.
So give us
my two dogs real quick. They're actually named after Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right,
Zero and Jack.
Really?
I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas.
He said,
what did I say? I'm going nuts today. Sorry.
Don't tell Kim because she'll try to steal them.
She knows that.
Does she? I don't know.
I think I've told her.
Anyways, tell us a little bit about your band, what you guys do, what sets you apart from everybody else. Maybe some of your more standout gigs and whatnot.
The name of the band is, like I said, Sinister Fate. We are a horror metal band. Like, all our music is based on not just horror movies, but everything just horror related or grotesque or just, shit that would give you nightmares. Like my early influences came from like Alice Cooper, Motley Crue, and like later on like Nine Inch Nails and Rob Zombie, White Zombie, Typo Negative. Just scary music, and that's pretty much what we make is scary music. And we dress the part. We wear the makeup, the contacts, the whole we try to put on as big of a show as we could as possible.
Some pretty heavy theatrics there that you guys get into.
There's some pretty heavy theatrics that's pretty R-rated. A lot of the stuff that we do at a lot of the shows are some people would call shock rock, I guess you would say. I don't like the term shock rock really because it comes back to like the whole Marilyn Manson thing and you're like Manson, no. Not really, but it's more for like the fear, not for the shock of.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff that I've done. I've come out of a body bag on stage. I've carried around a machete on stage, severed head prop.
I Fucking awesome.
I've shot myself. I take like a butcher knife and I carve up my arm.
You've gotten into, the theatrics have just continued to grow and grow. Now you guys are doing like fire and
Yeah, we do fire. Grinding sparks is where you take like a circular grinder and you put it against a piece of metal and sparks just go everywhere, and it's just insane. We've had for one song in particular, we've had a naughty nun come up on stage, and I basically bend her over, start stripping her down. I'm whacking her with a riding crop, spanking her with a Bible, and she ends up damn near. She actually does end up pretty much naked, and she starts rubbing on me, and then I have her bent over, and I start reading the Bible off her back. Just very, very good, wholesome, Christian.
Good family fun.
Good family fun. Just sort of, people don't really. It's like a train wreck. You just have to watch.
There's another interesting fact. What was the date that the band formed?
It was on Halloween 2000.
No. Wow, I know facts about your band that you don't. It was June 6th, 2006.
Is that what it
It was 666. You did it intentionally.
Oh, that's why I started, yeah.
Yes. That's when you launched everything and you kind of got the ball rolling. The first show was that July.
Yeah,
because that was for my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, look at that
I don't
shit.
remember anymore.
Wow.
It's been about
coincidentally, the day that he launched his band was also segue. The theatrical release of the remake of Omen.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to feel bad about that. If anybody asked me when we started this fucking podcast, I'd be like, I don't know. I think it was in February.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
No, I know. I'm the only one of the originals.
I'm sorry, Blacklist started about 2 weeks ago, sir.
Yeah.
Which actually, coincidentally, my bass player's name is The Omen.
Nice.
So, we like my name is, of course, David Bates. My brother was Norman Bates. And
really? That's fucking
Psycho.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got little backstories and gimmicks all set up.
I was actually rewatching that this past week, as well as I found the one on Netflix with Vince Vaughn in it. Oh my god, does that suck?
It's terrible.
I love Vince Vaughn too, so that's it's really hard for me to swallow that one. That's a rough fucking movie.
It's the original was always going to be the best, and but
how many times have they redone it now?
Just one.
Psycho.
American Psycho.
There's like 5 or 6 of them. Well, no, that's not. American Psycho is a different
brand.
But
there's
that's
Psycho,
that's the American businessman snapping at the end of the day.
There was
kept
Psycho
with the
1,
line.
2,
I think
3.
there's 5, right?
I think there was actually only 4. I
And then the
remember
remake.
4 being the retelling or something like that. They called that the beginning. There's the first one, the second one, third one where Norman Bates was supposed to be rehabilitated and started having relapse, and then the fourth one was like the prequel type story, and then they did the remake.
Yeah.
Which was all just trash.
Oh yeah.
horrible.
I didn't like any of them except the first one.
Yeah, the first one is still, to me, is like one of the most just, because really there was really no graphic violence in the movie. It was all psychological and all there was no graphic stabbings. Like you saw the actions going on, but you never saw the knife actually, cutting her or anything like that.
Anytime somebody tries to describe that, I can't help but think of Kevin Smith. In the way that he described, if I made an action movie, it'd all be off camera. You just see the people reacting to it. It's essentially what you got there.
That's basically a lot of Hitchcock.
That's what John Carpenter actually ended up doing in the original Halloween as well. I mean, Michael Myers only kills like a handful of people throughout that movie, and it's known as one of the best slash movies ever. It's all psychological. It's how it's him like sneaking behind bushes and people catching him for a split second here and there, lurking in the fucking corner. It's not like.
And the music treatment for it was the big help into what helped the movie along. Like the music, especially for that movie, was just amazing.
Whereas when you stem a little further down in the series, this is actually true of all the original, the original movies versus ones later on in the series. Later on, they just turn into like body counts.
I mean, it was that ambiance that you kind of got, that setting, that mood. They
already sold them on it. Then it was just like, how many people can they hack up in this hour and a half? You know what I mean? Which is still great, but it's just not, that creepiness factor is gone. So,
yeah, I forget what else I was going to mention.
It's all right. Don't worry. We don't edit on here, so it just kind of goes.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah.
If you listen to Blacklist episode 1, you hear Tony fall on his ass.
Yeah, that fucking chair. You know what happened? Because like I was the only one at the table that actually I don't believe in anything supernatural. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in anything religious. I'm like super skeptical. And as soon as we're all sitting around telling ghost stories, because I've actually had a few, but in my head I'm like, there's got to be something logical as the reason why it happened. That's why. But as soon as I'm telling my ghost story and saying how I don't believe in it, is when the chair breaks. It's like super fucking creepy.
Yeah. He's there 1 minute, next he's on the floor, and there's this loud bang.
We didn't cut it at all. There's just boom.
I'm like, Tony's on the floor. All them fucking cheese puffs, Tony Chow. Oh, wrong podcast. Sorry.
I'm assuming 99% of our listeners are coming over from Florida to Battle.
I still gotta fuck around with it. Sweet. So where we going with this? What we got next?
We could also, the one thing I forgot that we kind of touched on is if you wanted. I mean, this should have been the opening one, obviously, but anything you like. We were talking about how, like, at least for me, October is my absolute favorite month of the year. But just I don't know if you had any thoughts on Halloween, if you even like it or dig it or don't really care.
What gives you that idea?
Well, what he liked about it, obviously.
I know, like me and my band and how we do. We're Halloween 24/7, 365 days out of the year. Like October is, obviously like our biggest month where we're really doing a lot of shows, doing a lot of just stuff in general. We've tried to get into haunted houses, but I think we're too scary for the haunted houses.
Didn't you do one year?
No, we've still never done a haunted house yet. I'd love to. So any haunted houses that want us to.
What do you mean, just work in it or like play?
Actually,
it,
play like it. Like have a show out there. Actually, this Halloween we're playing at a bar that's like right next door to a haunted house. So we're gonna see how that works out.
Hoping to get the overflow and stuff.
Hopefully, I mean that's the idea. I know they were saying it is an all ages show, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna play off. It's like so I gotta really watch my P's and Q's.
Yeah.
No. I like to say fuck song.
We're still gonna play that. I love to say fuck. That's bullshit for anybody to be like, to be like at a haunted house and you got people getting their heads cut off and there's blood everywhere but don't swear. That's just be it's like, come on.
That's the one thing I never understood, like the whole like movie regulatory system as well. It's like they'll sit there. It's the same thing. You'll sit there like, even with video games, you'll run around. You'll be like blowing up terrorist forces, blowing up nuke bombs, shooting people in the face, slitting their throats, walking up behind them and like just cutting them in the back. But then somebody saying shit, it's just, well, that's crossing the line.
I'll even take it a step further. The greatest thing that I've ever had is when you have, and I know it's delving kind of off topic into video game world a little bit, but it kind of falls within the same lines. When you have a mom come in and she's okay with her kid playing Call of Duty, right? But as soon as the game has any type of sexual content in it whatsoever, it's like, oh no, there's nudity in this? No, you can't have this game. It's like, but it's okay for them to shoot people in the head, but not watch somebody perform a sexual act.
Yep. People are weird, man. And it's not like video games even take it that far. Video game or sex-wise?
Yeah. Well,
I still have not seen.
That's not even that bad.
Yeah, they didn't even show it.
I still want to see where's there an adult-rated video game.
Because
I know that they got the adult. There's mature and then adult.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen one.
The way that it works, it's just like NC-17. Nobody will distribute AO retail. There are a couple out there off the top of my head. Postal, I believe, was AO, the original Postal.
AO? What the hell's AO?
Adults only.
Really?
There's a rating past them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I should know that. I work at a video game retailer.
But video game retailers don't carry it.
I've never seen an adult rating.
The original Leisure Suit Larry carried an adults only rating.
Really?
Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us back. A lot of horror movies and things like that did have a bit of a struggle coming into the 90s. This is what we were kind of talking about last week. When they started to crack down on music and media and things like that with NC-17 and not being able to show that stuff.
Well, because that's the thing. I don't think that they straight up lie to the younger generation about this. Because I know we actually have some younger listeners as well. This goes with movies and video games. Like, I see it in the back of Game Informer. They're like, oh, Larry doesn't know it now, but, his parents used a rating system on him when he was a kid, and one day he'll use it on his kids. And that's total fucking bullshit. When we were younger, I grew up in the 80s, nobody gave a shit. I was 8, 9 years old. You could walk into an R-rated movie, it was fine. You can go and buy an adult-themed video game, it was fine.
Funny.
You didn't get carded for any of this shit. None of that happened.
Funny thing you bring that up, because I remember my first experience with being denied to see an R-rated film, and that was Scream.
That's when it started happening.
I went to see Scream with a bunch of friends. My mom dropped us off at the theater, said, I'll be back in about 2 hours, pick you guys up.
That's 96.
And they would not let us into the theater.
Hell.
Yeah, Scream.
I
was 12.
I don't remember when it happened with me. I remember it started happening once I was already like 16, 17.
Yeah.
When I started getting carded, where it was like, oh, now you're carding? Fine, I'm of age. But, they like tell these kids, like, oh, it's been like this forever. No, it hasn't.
No.
This is something that just started, guys.
You're fucked.
You're fucked.
I remember clearly watching the movie Critters on NBC, and them showing they show the one, I think it was the first one, where the critter, where the dad goes into the basement to see what the hell is going on, and the critter latches onto his shoulder.
Yeah, it's like
and
digging into his shoulder.
The blood
and
is
shit.
pouring out. Regular network TV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that, and now
No way.
No way. Which I just blows my mind.
Very cool. I got another one. I don't know. I just kind of threw this in my head because he made me think of my, I don't think that was your coolest one, but what's your, favorite moment in horror movie history?
Oh.
I got this one, standout thing that I always think of.
Oh, I already know mine. What you got one, or you want me to go?
You go.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
How about you?
I got two. I
Okay.
can't even pick.
There's a lot of iconic scenes. I don't want to say any of them because obviously you guys will probably might touch on them. But for me, it wasn't even that gory. It was another one of those off-camera kind of things. But was Evil Dead 2 when his hand became possessed and he had to chop his own hand off. The reason being is because it was violence against himself.
Yeah.
And that's what really, it was like, holy shit, this guy's fucked. Okay, he's chopping off his own fucking hand because it's trying to kill him. And I know the scene leading into it was absolutely ridiculous. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
It was totally splat stick, typical Sam Raimi Three Stooges shit, which is okay. But then it got really serious when he realized that there was no coming back from that. He had to remove his hand in order to, progress. That was the reason it stood out so much for me too, and I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit later. But it's because the movie plays on both aspects of, you have this guy who's alone and solo through 90% of the movie and experiencing all these things, and it's very psychological. But it's then mixed with comedy, and it's just this weird amalgam of back and forth, and you'll have a funny ass scene, and then all of a sudden it turns on a dime and it gets real serious real quick. Mm-hmm. And then it goes back to funny again. But in the same, it always maintains that creepy. But that was in that movie. I went in watching it. I was like, okay, it's kind of funny. Ha 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 ha. It's like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, he's chopping his own fucking hand off.
No, I know what you're talking about, because Scream, the original, almost perfected that, where the whole movie was a little freaky.
Yeah,
but there were so many
there was
comedic
It
breaks.
didn't take itself too serious.
So, I actually thought of another one now. So I actually have three now.
I got another one.
Okay, I'll knock one out because now I have three. Okay, I'll start with my lead. This is the third one I thought of. This was the oldest one I can think of, and this was from Phantom of the Opera, the original one, where he runs out at the end and the town's chasing him. You guys know the scene I'm talking about at the very end, and he runs down the stairs and he's trapped by the lake, and then he the town's coming in on both sides, and they're so scared of him because this is a silent flick that he reaches into his pocket, and everybody the whole town just takes a step back.
Recoil?
They're so freaked out, and he pulls it out and it's just an empty hand, and he opens it up to show everybody it's nothing, and he laughs, and then everybody pounces
They get
on
him?
him.
Nice.
It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
That's the one I just thought of.
I remember that. That was an awesome scene.
You got one yet? You still
I got a
stewing?
whole bunch of different.
Go for it. Let's go. We'll go around.
The original Dracula movie. Just shit, there's so many in the original Dracula. You know, when he first comes out of the staircase and, you know, I am Dracula.
And with the shadow.
The shadow.
Yeah.
Or when he's walking up the staircase with the candle and you hear the wolves howling in the background and just they listen to them. What sweet music they made. Like because Bela Lugosi for me was always one of my favorite. You know, obviously one of my favorite. You know, horror. You know, actors. He's just Bela Lugosi is fucking amazing and like the Dracula stuff. Like that's iconic. I mean, because when you think of like. When you picture what does Dracula look like in your head, you picture the fucking Eddie Munster,
Widow's Peak.
The Widow's Peak.
Yeah, we brought that up last
week.
Yeah,
the dress,
tuxedo,
the tuxedo looking, very dressed up, very
black slicked back hair. Yeah, it's him.
That's he is forever the iconic Dracula.
Nice. I'm gonna steal one that I know you were gonna go with. Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Little girl in the basement.
I hurt.
I don't have to go into any more explanation. If you haven't watched it, pause. We'll be here when you get back. Go watch that shit, okay? And then come back and you'll know what we're talking about. I'm not even going to go any further than that. Little girl in the basement. Night of the Living Dead. It's the reason I have nightmares about zombies. Okay.
All right. Here's my second one. This one, the particular movie wasn't that big of a deal, but it had been like. Built up for like a decade before that, and the movie I'm talking about is Freddy vs. Jason. Okay,
love that movie
because
underrated.
It's a good flick
because there's a lot of people who like bashed it and said it wasn't as good as it was. I
like it.
I
enjoyed it.
I couldn't find a flaw in the movie. It was very gory. The story was good.
Freddy was funny.
Freddy was funny. The story, but I mean, like the story in general, like everything sort of flowed really well. That you sort of went, okay. I buy this. I buy why this story happens.
Really, really quick. And it also kept it very old school. There wasn't CGI. There wasn't, I think they had
there was a little bit. But yeah.
But I mean, like when in the
I think the CGI was, when Jason was the pinball.
Yeah. And what I'm saying, when they start fighting and shit like that.
Because Freddy turned into that weird snake type thing when dude was getting high in the the laboratory or whatever when they were trying to get the drugs.
The wannabe Jason Mewes, but no, I'm talking like when it gets down to the nitty gritty, they kept it very old school with how they did the effects and everything. For the blood,
their actual fight was like straight up.
Yeah, it was straight up old school. Yeah. So that's. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I mean, if you watch the Friday the 13th leading into it, as well as the Nightmare on Elm Streets, I mean, there was like hints, and this it was like an old wives' tale that for like 10, 15 years leading into it, that they were always talking about making it, and Hollywood was always thinking about it, and it just never came to be. I mean, there were certain things where like one of the Jasons, he gets knocked down, and like Freddy's glove comes out of the ground and like pulls it through the dirt, and that was like 10 years preceding the actual movie. So there was this huge buildup in the horror movie community, and it just never came to be. And then when it finally came out, I was so excited because I was waiting for it forever, and I went to go see it at the theater, and it's a ways into the movie. It's maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, but there's just fire going on in this room, and it's like the first time that they're actually standing like face to face, and it pans from one to the other right before, and then they just charge each other, and Jason comes in with his machete, and Freddy catches it with his glove. It's just fucking awesome.
It was absolutely.
That's a badass scene.
It was almost the caliber of back in the day when, and I know it's kind of cheesy now, but when fucking King Kong met Godzilla, or Mike Tyson, Holyfield, it was one of those
iconic.
It was one of those pop culture things that will never be replicated again.
And they did it so cool. They could have fucked it up so bad, but they made it so badass.
Interesting note. After that, after they finally did that, then it became the discussion of Jason versus Freddy versus Ash, and they got so many people like hyped up about it. The movie was, a script was written. Sam Raimi was in talks with it. It fell through. They did a comic book of it, which was fucking awesome too.
Actually, they did a comic book and they did a sequel to it.
Yeah.
There's actually two of them.
Yeah. You got another one for us?
Actually, I was going to add on to Night of the Living Dead. Another iconic scene is they're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yes.
Like that is like, there's so many awesome scenes in Night of the Living Dead. Like, but like that, like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. I heard
no explanation of what was going on, why this was happening. It was just, him attacking the first zombie you see attacking her in the fucking graveyard, dude busting his head on the fucking, gravestone. It was awesome. Awesome.
My other one, it was one of the, in all the Hellraiser movies, anything Pinhead said was just fucking brilliant. Like, there's so many awesome, like, lines that he had, like, when the chick is crying, he's like, please no tears, it's a waste of good suffering. Like, that's excellent. But the one that always stuck out, one of the many that stuck out was when he's face-to-face with this priest, and this priest is telling him, you're going to burn in hell for this, and he goes, burn... Such a limited imagination. That's some cold shit to say to somebody.
Genius. Yeah, that's genius.
Like, Clive Barker is just brilliant. And I will go on record and say that new Hellraiser movie, Revelations, can suck it. It is I believe Clive Barker said this is no bastard child of mine.
Ugh.
And, because it doesn't even have Doug Bradley as Pinhead.
Yeah, dude.
How do you... Doug Bradley is Pinhead, just like Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger.
And that's why the new Nightmare on Elm Street
was terrible.
sucked so bad.
Oh, it was horrible.
So, I hope this isn't what we're ending on because mine's really fucking cheesy.
I have
okay,
my
because
I went 3-2-1. My best one is coming.
I didn't. This was just the standout moment of this entire movie. Jason X was pretty fucking retarded.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
Okay, but they went into that movie knowing that they were making a fucked up movie, okay?
Yeah, there's
the scene when he's in the hologram and he's back in the woods and there's the two fucking girls. Do you want to smoke some marijuana? Do you want to have unprotected sex? And then you see his eyes get all big, right? And it cuts away for a minute. It comes back. He's got the chicks in the sleeping bag, and he's beating the shit out of them against the fucking tree. Was awesome. Was awesome. Because if you think about it, nobody ever propositioned him with things like that before. That he was killing all the people that were doing that shit. Jason was a virgin, okay?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, okay. He never experienced any of that. So, you're like, well, maybe Jason's going to get laid. Maybe that's all he needed. No, beating a chick up. And, literally, it cut to that next scene, and I'm like, what the fuck? It was just a what the fuck moment.
But maybe that's what it was, though. Nobody ever offered him pot. Nobody ever gave him beer.
Nobody ever stopped a second to, they see this guy coming at him with a machete or running away. You ever stop? Hey, dude, you want a beer?
Maybe that would have stopped.
It would have saved hundreds of lives
if he just would have gave him a beer.
And some chick would have gave him a courtesy fuck.
Mm-hmm. A pity fuck.
Yeah.
All right, and then my number one comes from my favorite series, but not from the first movie. Actually came from we'll go later in life. I can't count them out right now. I'm talking about the Halloweens. We're actually talking about H2O.
98.
No, I didn't know the year. I know the year, but I didn't know what number it was.
Shit.
Numerically, it's like 7 or 8 or
It'd be 7.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one was great, as was the second one. I love those. The third one, while a good movie, kind of stemmed very, very far from what made Halloween. They got the backlash from the fans and never went back to that again. So then 4 and 5, he was chasing that little girl around, whatever. They were all great movies, but the whole thing that started him is he's trying to X out his family. He's going after his sister, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. And the fact that they finally brought her back alone was amazing. But then the build-up where she's got her own kid now, and they had to leave the state of Illinois just to get out to California, I think that one takes place in. And he tracks her across half the country, and so on and so forth. And then, half the movie's done, and she's seeing him because Halloween fucks her up so bad where she's just like...
She can't stand the holiday.
Yeah, she sees him around every corner, and she shakes, and she's freaking out. And then there's just this build-up where he's chasing her son, and she hasn't seen him yet. You're halfway through the movie. They just sneak into the door, and what happens is they slam the door, she pulls it closed, and she's looking through this little circular window at the top of the door, and then his face just pops, and that's when you realize they're just sitting there looking at each other for 5 seconds, and it's the first time they've seen each other in 2 decades.
20 years.
Yeah, and that's when everything came together, that now he's there, and she knew for real that she wasn't just seeing things.
I thought you were going to go with the roof scene.
That's not H2O. That's Resurrection.
Was it okay? I'm sorry. They blur together. I'm going to be honest.
Terrible.
The first 10 minutes of it was good.
I liked H2O.
They could have ended it there.
Buster Rhymes doing fucking martial arts on.
Hey, you know what? It's better.
Woo-ha, he got his ass in check.
It's better than fucking Jason boxing some black guy on a roof and uppercutting his head off. Okay, when he takes Manhattan. Okay,
that was funny though.
It's ridiculous.
That was like the worst. That was, to me, that's the worst Halloween is Resurrection.
Oh, it's terrible.
But H2O was really good.
They should have left it at H2O, but
they had it been done.
They should have left it at that, but then they had to go to the well. They're like, oh, well, maybe we could squeeze out one more. And well, it wasn't Michael Myers; it was some ambulance guy, and they switched clothes and they switched matches. Michael's guy. I'm like, oh, come on, really?
Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street did that really well as well. Where Halloween, I mean, they started off brilliant. The whole series is really good, but they kind of took that dip in the middle, and then they came out with this more recent one that was brilliant, and that was H2O for the Halloween series. But with Nightmare on Elm Street, they did that as well, where the first couple were brilliant. They kind of dipped out and got a little weird.
Yeah, Dream Child was weird.
But they're still good flicks. And then they came back with Wes Craven's The New Nightmare, which to me is the second best in the series, even though it's one of the more recent ones. And I just thought the whole premise behind it was fucking brilliant. Where
the premise, really, it was the precursor to Scream.
Yeah,
if you really, really look at it, it was basically how it was almost identical to the premise of Scream. Where I'm thinking that's where he sort of got the idea. I was like, this sort of works, and then decided to create a whole new film series off it altogether.
Where there's a movie in a movie, and then you see Freddy come, and he's a guest on a talk show.
Yeah,
and all the fans are there, and you're kind of it's showing you that it was all fake up until then, and now it's real. That to me was fucking brilliant.
I remember the movie. I don't remember it in detail. I remember that aspect of it. I actually have it on my queue ready to rewatch.
Yeah,
it's on HBO Go.
I'd suggest that. That's a good one. It's a good flick.
Need to rewatch it. Yeah, definitely. So since we just kind of brought ourselves up to speed, let's jump into current horror movies. Anybody want to take the lead on it?
By current, are you talking
2000s and 2000 to now? I know we touched on it a little bit, but let's get into it a little bit more and get a perspective of new horror or current horror.
To me, we just kind of brought it up, and that's what made me think about it. Honest to God, I think what kicked off the modern era was Scream, and that was '96. So we have to backtrack 4 years.
Well, no. We did that. We did that last time. What I'm talking about is kind of let's bring it up to.
I think Scream was the last of the good actual. Horror
that's where I'm going.
Realistically, I think Scream was the last franchise that was the last standing one. Everything after that, the Blair Witches and the fucking Paranormal Activities.
See, I want to pause on Blair Witch for a second. I hated the first one. Hated it. Could not stand that shaky cam shit. I actually kind of liked the second one. Anybody else see the second one?
I thought they were really dumb. They got both of them were not for me. I'm not into that. I think it's the same reason I don't like Paranormal Activity too. I don't like fake movies pretending to be real even though they're fake, and then they bring out the idiots. They're like, no, this really happened. No, it didn't, dude.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. People are doing that nowadays too in this day and age of Paranormal Activity. No, this really happened. No, you can't show people getting murdered for real.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
What was the movie way back in the day that they thought they brought the director in for questioning because they thought he was murdering people for real?
Oh, Zombie Holocaust.
There you go.
They thought, because it was so realistic that, they thought it was like a snuff film, basically. So they brought in the director, and the director had to call all the people that were in the movie for them to come in so they could say, hey, see, we're here, we're alive.
Everybody's alive, yeah.
It was just that graphic and that realistic, and then he actually had to show how he did some of the effects because they didn't want to believe it.
So we've got Blair Witch, we've talked about Paranormal Activity. We touched base on it a little bit before, but I'd like to get his perspective. Another big current horror movie franchise is Saw. Oh, he's making a face already. So good. Tear it apart. That's what I'm.
I get it. I just don't want it.
Okay.
I touched on this last. I enjoyed the first one.
I think the first one was good, but everything after it
Just junk.
they kept adding on, and I know are they supposed to come out with, no, they didn't come out with one this year.
No.
Thank God.
No, I think they're done. They reached what, 7?
Something insane.
Yeah.
I think basically with the new, like, a lot of the things what Hollywood is going for is the franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're purposely making the franchises, which I think is dumb. You know, like the Paranormal Activities is, you know, that's their go-to now. You know, there's probably gonna be a 5th one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I've seen the Paranormal Activity movies, and I get it. I wasn't scared by them. Like, it didn't really do anything for me.
I have not seen them. I have no interest in it. If I want to watch something like that, I'll watch Exorcist or I'll watch Poltergeist, something that'll actually scare me that's 20 fucking years old, 30 years old.
These are a lot different than that, though, if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, but I mean, if I want to watch, quote-unquote real videos, I'll go on YouTube and save myself the $8 and the 2 hours to watch shit that's probably better produced that'll scare me. Or I'll watch a TV show, like there's a really cool show on Sci-Fi, I believe it's Sci-Fi, called Fact or Faked. Okay, and it's like Mythbusters, but for
it's
paranormal shit.
Yeah, then Discovery Channel or History Channel made one as well called Monster Quest, where they
Yeah.
pretty much ripped it off, but did it way better.
Which I'd rather watch one of those in the comfort of my own home than spending $8 and being surrounded by a bunch of tweens that think what they're seeing on the screen is fucking real. Because guess what, guys? Cloverfield really happened too.
Yeah. To me, another one that did that came out at that time, which was directly combating Scream, was I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I know you did not like.
No.
I loved the first one. The first one I thought was brilliant. Then that thing I thought did the same thing. It's like you can't keep that momentum going, which I understand by definition alone, a sequel is going to be an inferior film. I get that. There's not much you could do about it, because if the sequel was going to be the better movie, well, there's a rare exception. But I mean, if the sequel's going to be better, that would be the movie. Why write the first one? You know what I mean?
How many did they go up to?
I Know What You Did Last Summer is 3.
Was
Yeah.
it 3?
They stopped.
Okay,
it. But the first one I really, really did enjoy.
Here's for me the two comparisons. Okay, I'll break. We'll go around. Okay, for Scream. Okay, again, it was one of those movies that didn't take itself too serious. Okay, which was phenomenal for the time. Broke the what is it, the third wall or the fourth wall? How do they
Whatever.
okay,
That
and-
wall.
yeah, that
That
wall.
wall, they break it down.
And they acknowledged horror movies and things like that, and those exist. And this was supposed to be quote unquote in the real world how it was executed. As to where I thought that I Know What You Did Last Summer was just another slasher flick for me.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't have the charisma. It didn't have the character. And it just didn't have it like Scream did.
Yeah. The first one, I don't know. I really liked it. It had a lot of great kill scenes. A lot of great. See, that's where I disagree, because there is a lot of. See, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen it so many times. They did do a really good job of not breaking down that barrier like Scream did, but like where they kind of did make fun of the way everyone else did everything. Where like. I mean, like, there's this one scene, I think it's where Sarah Michelle Gellar gets hacked up. And she's, like, running, like, down this alleyway. It looks like she finally escaped. She's going toward the parade. And he stops her, like, you think he's behind. I don't know. It's just the way they did it was cool. I don't know. There's this other one with this, like...
Isn't she, like, banging on the fucking window and shit?
That's to get in with her sister. That's at the beginning of that kill scene.
Yeah, they did that in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but that's at the beginning of the movie.
With Rick Moranis. It was so much more entertaining.
Because then he got... What I'm assuming what happened is he got raped by a dog. I think that's the assumption there. That Rick Moranis got raped by a dog.
Bestiality.
Yeah.
There's a really other good scene in that one, too, with all the mannequins standing with all the sheets over him. And you know he's under one.
Yeah.
And when she's, like, walking, you just didn't know. And
But,
it's
like,
still,
for me, it's like, how fucking stupid are you to go in that room?
she was already there.
Had
to get out, man.
I know. That's like at that point, wouldn't you just look at the floor? See the guy. Where's the Gordon Fisherman's in the fucking room? Okay,
The Gordon's Fisherman's nice.
that's what it was.
Then with Scream, I don't know. Those got progressively worse. The second one was okay. The third one was bad. The fourth was terrible. But
Now,
the second one was really cool about that too, because then if Scream 1 broke down the third wall, this thing broke down the fifth wall. There was a movie playing of the first one. Mm-hmm. So you're like watching a movie of them watching the first one from afar. And like that's the opening kill. It's in the theater where he gets a knife put through the bathroom stall into the side of his head. That's fucking great.
What killed Scream 2 for me, a 15-year-old spoiler alert, whatever. Aunt Jackie is the killer. Okay, I'm sorry. Like I grew up in the age of Roseanne, so there's no way. Even though I understand I'm typecasting, I don't remember her name because now she's on Big Bang Theory. Yeah. But she will always be Aunt Jackie.
Big Bang Theory picks up like everybody from fucking Roseanne. I know. There's like four characters.
I'm waiting for Roseanne and fucking.
The big dude. I can't think of his name.
Goodman?
Thank you. Jesus Christ, I had a brain fart. I'm waiting for them to have cameo appearances on it. Mm-hmm. But anyways, Aunt Jackie revealed as the killer just is like, no.
Well, I liked it.
She was a cop.
I like it was Bill Loomis's mom that was like... That because that was like you sort of knew it was the crazy whacked out film student, but the fact that it was his mom was like the other. It was sort of like a reverse. It was sort of almost like Friday the 13th.
Now was it which one had Jay and Bob in it?
Third.
Okay, but that was the only good scene.
Fuck you, Connie Chung.
Why the fuck? Okay, what made the first one so cool at the end was. The whole thing was a guessing game. You didn't know who the killer was, and at the end it was revealed because everybody thought it was her fucking boyfriend. But then you see him pop out, and you see the ghost in the corner. You're like, oh shit, it can't be him. Then at the end,
the guy who never opened his mouth.
What?
The guy, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who plays her boyfriend, he's in 2 and then he's in 3. He dies in 3 or whatever, right? Isn't it?
No,
or
he makes the first one.
He dies in 2.
No. The guy who's her boyfriend in.
Jerry O'Connell?
No, not Jerry. Who's the other fucking guy? The guy who they convicted in the first one, but it wasn't him.
Cotton Weary.
He doesn't open his fucking mouth.
That's not who I'm talking about at all.
I know. I got him and Jerry O'Connell sliders mixed up. Okay, but Cotton Weary doesn't open his fucking mouth.
Well, when he talks?
Yeah, just talks to the mouth like
and
this.
rant? Yeah. And rant? Okay. So anyway, the whole brilliance behind it was that they throw you for a loop, and then there's 2 killers, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming at all, because at the very end, you let her boyfriend off the hook until, the movie culminated. Then in the second one, it's like, did you really have to double dip into that well where you needed 2 killers again? You kind of saw it coming then. You didn't know exactly who it was or what have you, but like it was just like...
It's the Batman effect.
You got to do something different. You can't sit there and put the same... What worked so brilliantly in the first one is not going to work again in the second one, and it didn't.
It's the Batman effect.
At least in the third one, it was only 1 killer.
Yeah. Now, I did like 4 for what it was.
Or it was like a remake of... Like, I never seen it, but I get, like, the story premise I get was, like, them doing a remake or a retell. Like...
It was...
The people in the movie
it was
trying
her
to do
niece,
the remake.
and they were doing it over and everything. And it turned out to be her niece that was trying to kill her so that she could be popular and famous like her. The only thing that I liked about it is that it did bring back the cast and everything like that, and
I don't know. To me, it was just like Indiana Jones 4. It was like
there was no fridge.
There was a lack of fridges, but it was just like everybody's way too old to be doing this. Everybody's got like it's just.
Well, I heard when they were going to talk about doing a 5th and a 6th one, I was like, no.
Yeah,
don't.
It made money. It might still happen. It made
money. Yeah, but it got terrible reviews. Everybody ran out to go see it. Everybody got tricked.
Resident Evil. If it makes money, they'll make another one.
Yeah.
The idiots will go see it.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be like a Jamie Lee Curtis type thing, where like Jamie Lee Curtis did H2O, and then they wanted to bring her back for another one. She was just like, you know what, kill me off in the first. She just wanted to get killed off just so to
she didn't have to do this anymore. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, with not going back to it, but going back to the Halloween, it was after they killed Jamie Lee Curtis in the very beginning. It's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're gonna have Busta Rhymes going wah and kicking him in the head. It's like, okay, and they kill a bitch Tyra Banks, and it's like, okay, it just got stupid. But that's what I think will happen with the Scream movies. That like if Neve Campbell she's just gonna be like, just kill me off already, just so we can end this bullshit.
That's what I was trying to get at. Was with Neve Campbell, she's Indiana Jones, and then like everybody else is that kid from Transformers. That's
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. That's it.
LaBeouf.
Where they were like trying to pass the torch on, but while creating the movie, and then the fan reaction afterwards proved that it's just like, dude, it's not what people want.
Yeah.
And Nev Campbell, like, how long can she possibly be getting away with it? She's
As
not,
long as those tits stay perky, she can get away with it.
Are they still perky?
Well,
No,
yeah,
not really.
they bounced when she was running
To
in Florida.
Google.
To Google.
to Google we go.
Are Nev Campbell's tits still perky? I guess that kind of brings us kind of caught up for the most part. So we're missing one aspect of the 2000s and the current, the whatever you want to
So
call
we jumping
it.
into those?
Yeah, remakes and relaunches.
That's what the 2000s was.
Yeah,
It was the age of the remake.
and the relaunches.
All the good movies have been made.
We saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Amityville Horror, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I know I'm missing
House on Haunted Hill, but that was like 98 or 99. It was just before
We'll
it, but
still
yeah.
count it in there. Although that had the chick from Jay and Bob in it, didn't it?
No, you're thinking of 13 Ghosts, which was a remake.
Okay.
It was also a remake. That was actually a decent movie, though. It's a
I like
decent
that.
flick. I like the.
What am I
50
missing from the current series of remakes?
They redid Psycho as well. They
They redid Psycho. They did Nightbreed. They redid.
The Hills Have Eyes.
I Am
Hills Have
Legend
Eyes.
is
A remake of an original.
yeah.
Oh no, a remake
Of a remake
of the original.
Yeah. What else? I know we're missing
Well,
a couple.
What do you guys think were some of the highlights of those? Which one were the better one? Well, they'll pop in as we're talking about
Yeah.
it. But what do you guys think were some of the highlights, if any?
I thought Halloween was the best out of all the remakes. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, was okay.
That was actually a good one. That was one of my favorites. Was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Nightmare on Elm Street was just an abortion.
Yeah.
It
That
was
was
just-
that was horrible. Horrible.
Friday the 13th, I guess, was okay.
I liked Friday the
I liked
13th.
that's actually my favorite one.
That is mine,
the
too.
new remakes, yeah.
Yeah.
I see. I think we could talk about that a little. I didn't like the Halloween one.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys go get into it. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Well, not in a bad way. Just it was kind of like what I was saying earlier when we started talking about it very early in the podcast, where the whole thing was not about he strayed too far away from the story. Like, he tried to make it look like Michael Myers was a product of his environment, where like his mom's a stripper, his stepdad beats him up, his older sister's a whore. And if you go look at John Carpenter's flick, it's like, that's not the case at all. That's what made it so creepy, is he's just a normal
He was
kid
just-
from every
See, I get like both aspects of it. Like, a friend of mine, we had a discussion before like this, where it's like, you got the one end, like my end, like I dig how they sort of filled out his backstory more, and sort of, because like the whole thing is, why is Michael so, like in the original, it's like, why is he so messed up? Why, what could possibly have made him this fucked up in the head? And you look at his backstory and go, okay, yeah, that probably would fuck people up in the head.
Yeah.
So I get, like, I like how they filled in the backstory, but I also get, like, in the original, he basically, Michael Myers grew up in, like, blue collar type
Annabelle,
family,
yeah.
Really nothing wrong with the family, and he just sort of snaps and kills his sister. So I get both spectrums, like, but I like the backstory filled in more, just him fucking snapping and, like, just becoming this enraged just monster.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I liked it a little bit more.
The one part I really did like during Rob Zombie's remake was the whole part of locked up to the escape. That's the part I thought was really, really well done. But everything before
Making
that,
all those masks and shit everywhere, and just,
like him just sitting there and Loomis is trying to talk to him, and he just sits there in silence, and then how he escaped and stuff. I thought that was really, really well done, because, I mean, in Rob Zombie's flick, you're 45 minutes into the movie, but in John Carpenter's, you're still, the credits are still rolling, and you're at the exact same part of the flick. Not the credits, the opening credits, excuse me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The title screen is popping up, and so I mean, it's like a 43-minute discrepancy as to when their particular movies start, and I thought that was really cool, the way that it was a little drawn out and whatnot, but still really, really good. Yeah.
I mean,
A decent flick. I just, yeah,
at least I know we can agree on one thing. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is utter just trash.
terrible. Atrocious.
We get it. Your wife is fucking hot.
Yeah.
We get it. Don't stop putting her in everything.
Yeah.
Including Zach Wilde's music video.
She's in that
Stillborn.
too. Is she? Oh,
Yeah.
bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's like she had there was no reason for her to be in the second movie. She was living dead girl in the fucking movie. She looked at, the contacts, the white hair, like she was living dead girl. And it was like I said, like I just said, it's okay, we get it, your wife is hot. Mm-hmm. We know you're fucking it. Great. Yeah. Fantastic for you. Stop putting her in everything.
I think we can also agree on one thing. Let's talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street remake a little bit and why it was so bad. Now,
piece of garbage.
Me personally went opening night to see it with a couple of buddies. Didn't have high expectations, but went along anyways because I was like, fuck it, Rorschach's not a bad guy. Let's see how it plays out. I'll give it a shot. Anybody want to jump in on that?
First and foremost, you're going to make a Friday the 13th, or a Nightmare on Elm Street. Pay Robert Englund whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. He's not dead. I get it. One day the guy's going to be too old. He's going to retire from acting, or he's going to die. I get it. One day someone will have to take over the role of Freddy Krueger. The guy's still in his 50s. He's still in a lot of movies, mainly horror flicks. He does cameos and stuff. He's still clearly around in Hollywood. Pay the guy. What, you paid this dude $1 million and he wanted $5 million and your movie sucked because of it? Give him his $5 million. Give him whatever the hell he wants. He's still around. That's the first thing. How do you even let that go?
Yeah.
But whatever. Then the origin was all wrong. That's not how he came to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
That movie was a mess.
I think that it had some cool scenes. The school scene, like the little elementary school, was kind of cool with the snow or the ash or whatever they were trying to do. That was kind of cool. Was it the supermarket scene where it kept switching back and forth between them being going through the grocery store and then all of a sudden they're in the boiler room and back and forth? And the cans are flying off the shelves and shit. That was kind of cool. I think what really, really bothered me, and I understand that Freddy Krueger as a character went after teens and things like that, but they really, really went out of their way to establish him as a fucking pedophile in the newer movie. Did you see it?
Which is not what he is.
I actually never saw the remake.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
No, that's why. Is a friend of mine, she's a hardcore Nightmare on Elm Street, the amount of stuff that she has on Nightmare on Elm Street is just ridiculous. If you saw her collection, it's just insane. She is just the most hardcore Nightmare on Elm Street fan you will ever find. And she saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see it." She's like, "Don't do it. Don't do it. All you're gonna do is piss away your money."
Mm-hmm. The basic idea is all wrong. I mean, Freddy, his entire being is fed by the fear of people when they dream. That's what gives him all his power. That's what makes him what he is. The second one just turned him into some weird, burnt, crippled pedophile.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Who just came back.
He worked at. I don't remember if he was a teacher or what. He was a teacher, like a preschool, and supposedly it was diddling little girls or whatnot.
Huh?
And and they made it all his power come back from wanting to get back at the townspeople.
They were remembering that he existed. Which the aspect of them forgetting him and him losing power from that was kind of cool, which they played on in some of the previous movies.
Just the one.
Yeah.
That
concept was okay. The kids had to take medication so that they couldn't remember their traumatic childhood. That part of it was kind of cool. And then
you're getting movies confused.
Am I?
Yeah, you're thinking of
that was Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy vs.
What
Jason.
the fuck?
See, there was no cool part of this remake. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
With exception of the grocery scene.
I'm trying to tell you. There's nothing that you can walk away.
There's a really cool. There's a cool scene.
Yes, there it is.
There's a cool scene. They're going into a grocery store to get No-Dos or some shit and caffeine to stay awake, and they're starting to they've been awake for 3 days. And they start to nod off.
This is Freddy vs. Jason.
Is it?
Yes.
No.
I'm telling you.
When the fucking cans are flying off the shelf and shit, and then he cuts the one person in the fucking. In Freddy vs. Jason, I remember what you're talking about.
There's all No-Dos and pills.
Yeah, they do it again in the remake. Okay. Because they even established that after 3 days of staying awake, you start having 30-second where you your brain shuts down, and that's where that scene comes from. Where they're in, I'll pull it up on YouTube. You're making the face.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Anyways, so back to what I was telling you. There is a scene, because it's even in the trailer that I can pull up here in a few minutes, that establishes when they're in like a Walgreens, okay, and they're walking down the aisle and they're blinking in and out, and it goes from the grocery store to the boiler room, and like he's running his hand along the pipes and it's sparking, and then it comes back to reality and cans are flying off the shelves and shit.
Huh.
It's kind of cool.
No, that I know what you're talking about. When he's running his
and
knives
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the specific scene that I'm talking about.
That's from the new one.
That and the when the little girl goes into the preschool, and it's like almost Silent Hill-esque, was kind of cool.
Very cool.
And then they kill him with a fucking. You remember in grade school, you used to have the things that you cut the paper with.
Yeah,
you always had
paper
to
cleavers.
Yeah, they break off the fucking cleaver of it and cut his head off. Yeah.
But see, they stole that from The Faculty.
Yeah.
Because I remember that dude. Which
is a remake also?
Faculty?
I don't know.
Isn't it a remake of
that one
1999 with that movie?
That's the one I'm talking about. The Faculty.
No, there's an older one too.
I don't know.
Maybe
That.
I don't know.
I think
That
so.
I don't know.
But the dude from Pearl Harbor. What's his name? That guy.
Ben Affleck?
The other one.
Affleck should be in everything.
Yeah.
Matt Damon?
No. The other one from. He's also the kid in H2O.
Oh, Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, that guy. So he's the one. I remember, like, it's even in the preview where he puts his foot down and he breaks the cleaver off, or the guillotine off that paper cutter. That's fucking just made me think of that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really fucking stupid. Which kind of, I guess, catches us up on the remakes. Is there any other ones?
It was only, yeah. I mean, I did enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought that one was all right. Actually, my favorite one of those, we didn't even talk about it, was out of the big three. My least favorite is Nightmare on Elm Street, and the middle one's Halloween. My favorite actually is the Friday the 13th remake.
Okay, we totally skipped over it.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought that was the most well done one, except for it fell apart at the end. I didn't like the whole fucking weird tunnel system. I mean, it kind of explained how he gets around so quick, but half the lure of Jason is not knowing. I mean, him just chasing you at walking like speed and catching you when you're running to your fullest. But the beginning was awesome. I remember seeing it with a buddy, and we're sitting there. We're like 30, 40 minutes into the movie, and we're watching everybody get hacked up, and I'm kind of like, they're going through these... Have you seen this or no?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay. I'm like, they're going through these characters really quick. I mean, they're fucking running out of main protagonists. They're like 30 minutes in or whatever. Then you finally see the title screen, Friday the 13th, and I'm like, whoa, that was just the opening. You know what I mean? Like 10 bodies later. And there's some really cool ones. Like, remember him tying one girl up over the campfire in a sleeping bag where she can't get out. And it's just like just gruesome ways to die.
Did you not see that one either?
I saw. I have it on DVD.
That one's worth watching. That one, give it a go.
I don't think they really.
I tend to stay away from remakes a lot of the time because I just like remakes.
The good thing is it felt like another Friday the 13th movie. It didn't feel too much like a reboot, at least for me. You know, like it was more for me more of a continuation. But
what other remakes did they do? Actually, there's one I forget that we completely missed was Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I actually liked that remake. I really did. I liked it.
That brings up one that I forgot that I brought up earlier because I did want to talk about it. I actually really enjoyed it. Was House on Haunted Hill. Nothing would touch the Vincent Price version at all.
No.
I'm not trying to say that at all. But for an earlier remake, because they didn't go too nuts, it was actually a good flick for like 97, 98, whenever it came out.
I didn't mind it as much. It wasn't bad for what it was, but the Ryan Reynolds Amityville Horror wasn't too bad.
No, that was actually pretty good too.
I liked how he played the character and everything. He did a pretty good fucking job of being crazy.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is a good actor.
Yeah,
Fucking A. All right, then
I've been trying to avoid it because I'm still on the fence about it. There's a remake coming out in April of next year. And people have been clamoring it for 25 years now? Well, 92 to 2012. To 20 years. Okay. Is the they're not making another Evil Dead movie in a continuation of the Bruce Campbell Sam Raimi story, but Ghost House, which is Sam Raimi's horror movie company, is making a remake of the Evil Dead. It's been rumored for a while. It's finally in production. This past week at New York Comic Con, they showed a trailer, which I still can't find online. But it was also attended by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. They both gave their blessing. From what I've read, there was a lot of very iconic scenes. It is a true blue horror movie. They're sticking very much to the horror roots, but Bruce Campbell is not in the movie. Thoughts?
I dislike it in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard even Ash isn't even going to be Ash. Ash is going to be Ashley. It's going to be a chick.
Yeah, it's a chick.
How do you turn Ash into a chick?
I'm not 100% sure if the chick's name is Ashley. That's kind of obviously the thing that's floating around online.
That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
I don't think they're playing it the same way, though, as far as with her being like the sole survivor throughout the night and everything like that, with the psychosis and everything kind of setting in. I did see the one still shot of what was her name, the old lady, his Dr. Nolby's wife, popping up out of the cellar.
Was there actually a scene of it?
There's a still, and she looks fucking cool.
Huh.
There's also a scene where there's a hand chopped off. I haven't seen it, but they show it in the trailer. You see the chainsaw, you see the woodshed. So like I said, they stay true to some of the scenes from the originals, if you will. I'm extremely on the fence with it because I'm a huge Evil Dead Army of Darkness fan. And I just don't know what direction to go with this. I'll go see it. I'll spend the $8. But if it's horrible, I'll be the first one in line to speak up and say how shitty it is.
I want my money back.
Yeah, I want my $8, Sam Raimi. Your stupid glasses.
Yeah.
How are you? What
Fuck
is,
you and your emo Spider-Man.
Evil Dead mean anything to you, sir?
I saw them. They're cool flicks.
Yeah.
I know you guys are way more passionate about it than I am, so I just kind of stayed out of that little segment.
Sure.
When you guys are done wrapping it up, there's one thing that I wanted to revert back to when you guys are finished that you guys made me think of.
You Dave, do you want to explain? I mean, other than just your disinterest for remakes, do you want to touch on why it might, maybe, like your opinion on it?
Bruce Campbell is Ash.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what happened when they tried to replace Robert Englund?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Tanked horribly. What happened when they tried to replace Doug Bradley as Pinhead? Horrible movie.
But
horrible. It's like trying to replace such an iconic person, thinking, we'll just remake it and we'll revamp it and it'll be better. No, it won't.
I agree, but I think we are missing one aspect, that this is being executive produced by Robert Tappert, Sam Raimi, and Bruce Campbell. So it's not like, it's just some studio bought up the rights and, hey, we're going to rebrand and relaunch this.
Yeah.
It does have the original crew there in spirit.
I've lost respect for Sam Raimi.
Emo
Fuck
Spider-Man.
him and his emo fucking Spider-Man.
Just because the same people are doing it
doesn't mean
25 years later or whatever doesn't mean shit, dude. Think of how different. I know this is stupid, but it does make sense. You're what, 28?
Yes, sir.
Think of how different you were 25 years ago.
I know.
What your creative talent? It's a little skewed because you were an infant. Versus,
I know what you mean.
But I mean, when you're a 20-year-old, your brain's just significantly different than when you're a 50-year-old. You're not gonna like have those same juices. It's just
I'm still holding out just a sliver of hope that it'll be worthwhile, and maybe by doing this and it appeals to a younger audience, maybe there's more. I don't ever expect to see Bruce Campbell as Ash again, in a movie medium. Okay, I've accepted that that's not going to happen. That's obviously what I want to happen, but that's not. But maybe it'll respark an interest, and we can see more content generated from this universe. That would be my hope. You know,
when they did the games, it was
they did a
pretty
game. They could. I mean, animated movies are a big thing now. Maybe they could do a animated movie, which is also the discussion of a possibility for the next Ghostbusters movie, with everybody being older. Hey, let's do it animated so that they can be young and everything, but do it to the adult crowd because they know, you know, people our age will go see
That's
an
who's
animated
going
film.
to see it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean,
I
it does.
don't care how old Bill Murray looks. I'll still go watch him in a fucking proton pack.
Yeah, agreed.
Bill fucking Murray. I mean, remember the pop he got when he
We
showed up?
totally didn't touch base on Zombieland.
That's what I was just about to say. When he accepted the award for Zombieland, and he showed up at that horror.
Was it MTV?
Was it? I don't know. No, it was the Scream Awards.
Yes.
He showed up in the proton pack and the suit and everything. The place went apeshit.
Well, I think that was one of the best scenes in that movie, and I love that movie from start to finish.
So I think, you know, for the guys in Ghostbusters think, oh, nobody wants to see us, you know, running around, you know, in the jet, you know, the back in with the backpacks and the suits on. Yeah, we do.
Did you almost say my backpack's got jets?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost.
I think personally they're a little scared. Like, there's no way they could live up to what people want Ghostbusters 3 to be. And I think they're just, like, kind of copping out, but that's just me.
Well, look at
It's
him.
like, oh, you guys don't really want that, and they're just going to wait till everybody forgets. I don't know.
I don't know. No way to forget.
Yeah. Speaking of, I know it's not horror related, but it is remake related. Back to the Future.
What?
Yeah.
Talk about remaking it?
They're currently in pre-production on it, and supposedly, here's where Dave's about to explode because clearly he hasn't heard any of this. I don't know if you had.
I have not.
Will Smith's son is going to be.
Bull fucking shit. What? Stop killing franchises. You already killed the Karate Kid, you little bastard.
We'll see if this gets made.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Why?
Because that's his dad using his Hollywood power to get his son. Like, his son's not a good actor.
No, he's not.
He's just like, let me get him roles because, you know, whatever.
He's jiggy with it.
All right, you had one more.
I wanted to bring one up from the 90s that I wanted your guys' opinion on. I don't even know if you saw it. It was kind of like, it stemmed its own mini run, but they were all atrocious except for the first one. And you guys made me think about it with the female killer you guys were talking about. And that's Urban Legend.
Oh.
You guys remember that at all?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Vaguely?
that movie.
That nobody's really going to be able to talk about it with me. I thought the kills, like the movie was meh, whatever. It had some funny parts, some you know, but the actual elaborateness of the kills was what I guess I liked about that movie so much. Like how they went into everything. Why are you looking so confused?
No, I was just checking time. Checking time. Sorry, guys. Time check.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
It's not going to make for very good conversation because I'll just be talking to myself. So let's move on.
Well, no, go into it a little bit. I mean, because you might refresh my memory.
I actually dig Urban Legends a lot. Like not the movie, just the actual thought
Premise
process.
behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I think that it's really cool. And then to see some of the most like prevalent ones kind of be acted out was really cool. Like I remember there's the one like you know where the two kids are on the top of the hill making out. And then they start hearing the scratching, you know, the guy gets out to investigate, so on and so forth. Or no. I forget how it leads into it, but that
on the door or something.
No, then they hear the scratching after the boy gets out to investigate. I'm sorry. And it's actually him tied from the tree and his feet are like touching the roof of the car because that's all you've got to like not complete. So she got freaked out and pulls out and then she finds a hook in the side of the car or whatever. And then there's I can't even think of like half of these right now. But just like, I don't know, I guess to see them like come to life, because I haven't seen that movie in like 10 years either, so I'm like forgetting it as well. But just to see some of the ones that like you have built up in your head. There's the one, man, I'm going to fuck all these up. Like with the babysitter who's...
the calls coming from in the house or something like that.
Yeah, where like she keeps getting calls and she's freaking out and she's like, you know, whatever. And then like... then she calls 911 to get the call traced, And they're like, the calls are coming from in the house, and she just freaks out, and that's when she gets fucking. And just to see him like come to life, I think that's what made me like that. It's probably a terrible movie. I haven't seen it in a really long time, but seeing that stuff like come to life actually made it worthwhile to me. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got one last thing that we're going into, right? We're going to go into our 13 days of Halloween.
Yes. We're in all honesty, I wanted to do 31, but we waited too late. I mean, it's like what, October 17th today?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just gonna do 13, evil, scary, bad number, 13 days of Halloween. Leading into it, the 13 movies that we would recommend. We're probably gonna fight over this a little bit.
Yeah. We left a chunk of time for this.
Yeah.
But Tony and I are gonna slap fight again.
Let's start with I guess 13, and work our way backwards.
Yeah.
What kind of... This is going to be a working list. I got a feeling by the time we get to like 5 and 6, we're going to end up bumping 12 and 13 because we're going to remember more shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a working list. Should we get that thing over just so there's no disputes?
Yeah.
Paper.
We're pulling out some old school paper.
Is there room to write on it somewhere?
We'll just kind of keep it going. Okay? So let's see what we come up with 13, and then we'll just start bumping stuff back if need be.
Cool.
What do you...
Give us a second here. Tony's writing. I'm watching Tony write because it's amazing.
This is
he's
just
using
this
old
just,
tech.
It's just not enough room.
He's using old
Okay.
tech.
Well, what should... Okay, are we... Real quick, let me we're doing Halloween flicks, yeah? We're not doing... We're doing the best movies, I guess, to watch for the Halloween season.
Yes.
So stuff like a Friday the 13th could come into play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Well, I don't know if we were doing
Yeah.
strictly Halloween movies. Or
Okay.
not, because that'd be a totally different...
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
rock on.
Anybody willing to start this off?
I will.
Okay.
I will kick us off back in the day because this is my reasoning behind it, is the closer to you get... The old movies from the 30s and 40s are great, and I love them. But as you get to Halloween, closer to Halloween, you might want actual scares.
Okay.
And these things are great movies in their own right, and they do set you in the mood, which is why I feel that they're perfect for a couple weeks before the actual day.
Okay.
So I say, but I know he's going to want this a little lower on the list, is we kick it off with Dracula.
No, I was actually thinking Dracula would be the good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely.
He might be lower. These are going to be shuffling up and down because, like I said, I mean, you're not going to sit there and like watch it with the lights off and have your girlfriend jump on your lap from that movie. It's a different time frame. It's a different mindset. That stuff's not exactly going to make you, jump out of your seat anymore. So
It's a good start.
okay. Why doesn't somebody throw out a number 12 and let's see how it works out? I don't know how this is gonna play out. This is great.
This is where your expertise is going to come into play.
Good 12.
12.
Given the like I said, these could all go. This is floating.
We'll probably end up naming about 31 movies between all of us. To be honest.
I could go 30.
We can extend it. We can go
We can extend
over
it.
13. You would just have listeners out there. You'd have to play some catch up. You'd have to watch 2 or 3 a night
Yeah.
Pretty much.
to get our recommendeds.
Let's say The Shining.
It's an excellent flick.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
I agree that should definitely be on the list. I think it's a little high, but I might be forgetting a lot. I was thinking more here, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Jace, how about you throw a movie out there? We'll start floating them out.
Okay. Well, you know
what we should have did?
I go for weird shit and things like that. Go ahead.
Can I make a suggestion? I think what we should do is list like maybe 5 movies each and throw a list of 15 together and then kind of sort them.
Yeah, I'm fine with winging it. That's the best way my brain works because I don't know if I'm gonna.
Because I don't think this is gonna work. Because now you're not thinking of every movie ever. You're just thinking what's better than Dracula and The Shining.
No, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm about to prove you wrong.
I think this is a flawed way to do it.
I'm about to prove you wrong here. You ready for mine?
Okay,
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
is better than The Shining and
No,
Dracula.
I'm going again. I'm using your philosophy where I want to go with you go with some you start with some older, right, but then you have to break up the monotony of the serious movies with something a little out there to stay in the flavor. And it doesn't deserve to be higher on the list than where it's at.
That is a terrible fucking movie.
It
I don't even
is.
think it belongs on the list.
It is.
What do you think?
I think it's a B movie classic.
I don't like clowns, but I'll go with that.
All right. It's a fucking garbage piece of shit.
It is. And I'm not disagreeing, but it definitely it's one of those fucked up.
I know what's gonna happen is when we have these 13 down, I'm gonna look at it like, really, that made the fucking list, and like I'm gonna look at everything that we left off.
Well, that's what next year's for. That's what next year's for.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're not literally going like that, are we?
No, I'm honestly not even ranking them in order.
Yeah.
I'm just listing 13 movies to watch.
I'm gonna scratch this. We're gonna go around like this 5 times.
Okay.
All right. We'll get some movies that we want on there. Okay. I don't know where I want this one. I hope you guys have seen it, and I forgot all about this. This is the only good movie that's come out in the 2000s. Trick or Treat.
I have
seen
not.
that one?
We talked about it last year.
Now I'm gonna have a hard time convincing you guys why it's so good. But
I just put Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
no,
okay?
but I'm actually putting good movies.
I'm going with things that I would watch during Halloween.
I'm putting that one on for my list. Okay.
Dave?
Another movie you want on the list.
Return of the Living Dead.
All right, that's a great one. That definitely has a spot.
That's an awesome movie.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the one that I was talking about last time that freaked me out as a kid, and that's The Gate. The Gate. Those little
Excellent.
fucking...
You've been bad.
Those little... Ugh. See, I can appreciate horror for what it is, but I also know that like my taste is in B movies, so that's where my list is gonna come into play.
I'm gonna throw H2O on there. Just talking about it made me remember how much I really do.
You're gonna
dig
go
that
back
movie.
and watch it tonight, aren't you?
I've been watching horror movies nonstop all month, dude. I'm watching like 2 every day.
Nice.
Some junk, some good, some. I leave the really, really good ones for like the last week. The stuff that I feel.
That's why Killer Clowns was so far back on my list.
Like the last week, I typically leave for the ones that I just am in love with, like my favorite 20 horror movies or so.
Nice.
Me?
Yeah,
Lost Boys.
One of the best vampire movies.
definitely. Really quick, because I know they're not going to make your list. What did you think of the 2 sequels?
Second one I thought was pretty decent. Like the vampires were very Buffy-like.
Yeah.
And the third one, I have the movie, but I've never watched it.
Really?
Yet. I bought it for like $3.
It was interesting.
Is
It was
it?
interesting. Yeah. It's worth wasting the hour and a half or whatever it is to watch it.
I have so many horror movies in my collection. It's ridiculous. And half of them I haven't even watched.
Next one for me. I'm trying to go for shit that stands out to me. I'm going with Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
Nice.
Yeah. That fucking cat scene. I can make it to that story, and then there's
One
this,
that pops out of his...
yeah, it pops out of his fucking mouth. But then there's one story, there's at least one story after that where the dude starts talking to that fucking, it's like a troll, no, not a fucking, gargoyle thing. And that gargoyle thing freaked me the fuck out. I watched that movie about a year ago with my girlfriend. In the middle of the day, we're like, we gotta turn this shit off. That fucking gargoyle thing's creepy. He's like trying to mac on the gargoyle.
I forgot all about
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna go with Scream.
Okay. We don't have to debate that with you.
Yeah, I feel that definitely deserves a spot in the closing weeks of Halloween.
Yeah.
Hellraiser. Hellraiser number 1. I'll go with 1.
Okay. We'll rank them a little
How,
after.
what am I at? How many do I have down?
You
I've
got
3, right?
you got 2 left, and we both
Okay.
have 1 left.
Friday the 13th, part 2. Part 2. And it's a fucking burlap sack, not a pillowcase.
It's a pillowcase.
But yeah, I didn't care for the first. I mean, the first one I appreciate, but that's not where it starts for me personally. It starts with me.
I like 3 a lot as well.
3 was really
good.
was really good.
Well, 3 was when they brought in the hockey mask.
Yeah,
the first time.
and I mean that's iconic, but the establishment of the Jason character really came into play in 2, for me. 1 was a prequel. Like in my mind, it'll always be a prequel to the actual story.
Okay. And for me, I gotta close it out on my all-time fave. I hate to double dip into one series, but I gotta go with Halloween. That is the ultimate Halloween movie for me. I watch it I watch actually 1 and 2 back to back every Halloween night every year. Have since I was a little kid.
Nice. Your number 1 pick so far.
I don't know if I'd say it's my number 1, but
For this,
I'm sort of jumping around with.
Oh no, we're gonna order them later.
American Werewolf in London.
nice. It's kind of a foregone conclusion what my number 1's going to be, and that is The Evil Dead number 2. Has to be my.
Although the first one, the Evil Dead 1, was scary as fuck.
Yes, I do not
scene
disagree.
to me still to this day is that when she's doing the cards and she starts calling out the cards and she turns, I was like, holy shit!
The only reason I picked 2 over 1, and it's
me.
a hard choice for me, but the only reason I picked 2 over 1 is because 2 retells the first night in the cabin, catches you up to speed, and then picks it up from there. So there's even more story. Granted, you don't get some of the screams and the scares that you got in the first one, but I think on a it's where he was talking about where in very rare cases the sequel precedes the first.
Yeah.
And for me, the sequel preceded the first.
Okay, so I'm going to read through them, our 15 picks, and then we did 15, didn't we? I'm a fucking idiot. Not 13.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then we'll try it. I guess our best to order them.
Dead last on the list is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I think we're all in agreement.
I am perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those. I mean, for the time, it's one of those weird, obscure, fucked up, and you can't watch it any other time of the year. It doesn't fit anywhere other than October. You know, and that's what you watch October 1st.
That's to kick the month off.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So here's our 15 in no particular order. We got Dracula, The Shining, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Trick or Treat, Return of the Living Dead, The Gate, H2O, Lost Boys, Tales from the Dark Side, Scream, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th Part 2, Halloween, John Carpenter's flick, the original, American Werewolf in London, and Evil Dead. Now, these can float up and down as much as we'd like when we're discussing. The one thing I think has everyone seen everything except for Trick or Treat?
Yes.
Part, yeah.
The only one I haven't seen all the way through is Killer Clowns. I saw a little bit and I turned it off.
Okay.
What's funny is Psycho and Exorcist are not on the list.
Yeah. Hey, we've got.
I would have put Psycho on if I had another pick, probably.
We have a video game tournament going on Forward Compatible, and we are excluding some big names on it just because
We can call those honorable mentions.
Yeah, we go with that.
Okay, so Trick or Treat. I really wish you guys would have seen it because there's no way I can provide this movie justice. It's actually the first really, really well made. Actually, can we do something? Can you pause?
Yeah.
Real quick? We'll be back in 1 second. All right, so all that we did, just to catch everybody up, I wanted to pause it and at least let them watch the official launch trailer so they had a rough idea of what was going on. Now, the best way I can explain it without ruining too much is that entire movie only takes place over the course of about 2 or 3 hours. There's about 4 or 5 parallel stories going on. The way that it all comes together is ingenious, where all those different things are happening, and there's kind of like a uniform thing that kind of brings them all together without going into it too much.
You know, watching the trailer, I'm gonna switch out my one pick, and you'll see why. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drop Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
I'm going to drop it in favor of a childhood classic that's not a scary movie, but definitely falls in line for a Halloween movie. I know I'm going to get shit for it, okay? But it's Ernest Scared Stupid is what I thought of when I saw that trailer. take Killer Clowns from Outer Space off there. Put Ernest Scared Stupid on there. There's your October 1st movie.
Well,
Okay.
we're gonna have to go
Scared
with
Stupid rocked.
That was a phenomenal.
so Killer Clowns gets
suck on this booger lips.
Killer Clowns gets knocked down to
Yeah.
honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
gotta take Ernest.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Have you seen?
Yes.
Okay. And your opinion?
It was funny.
Okay.
Yeah,
It falls in line for a Halloween movie.
we needed a giggler on there.
Yeah, totally.
It could still float. I don't know what it's gonna
Like I said,
bump to. I don't know what it's gonna
yeah.
bump, but yeah, we'll go with that one for now. What you guys thoughts on just the trailer?
I'll definitely check it out. It's definitely. I have so much shit on my Insta-Q, it's ridiculous. I go through the horror movies and everything. I'm like, ooh, Insta-Q, ooh, Insta-Q,
Yeah.
ooh, Insta-Q.
Get around like one a week, and you're adding 10, right?
Pretty much, it's ridiculous.
For me, it's something that I would watch, but I'll probably, and this is not saying anything negative, I'll probably forget about it. It'll pop up in the back of my head one day, and I'll sit down and watch it. Something that I'd watch, but it's not something that's going to stand out to me.
Yeah. Okay, rock on. So where are we going from here?
What do we got next? Read them off again. What do we have
What's left? Dracula, The Shining, Trick or Treat, Return of the Living Dead, The Gate, H2O, Lost Boys, Tales from the Dark Side, Scream, Hellraiser, The Original Halloween, Friday the 13th Part 2, American Werewolf in London, and Evil Dead.
I would have to say that Tales from the Dark Side of the movie would have to fall pretty far down the list. Like, it probably doesn't hold up to as well as some of the other horror movies on the list. It's definitely something, if you haven't watched it, it's worth watching, but it's one of those movies where you see it one time, you already know what's coming. It doesn't have that lasting effect, and it doesn't have that serial killer movie slasher flick where you'll forget that this scene's coming up. You watch it one time, you know where it's
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that one.
Rock on. All right. I feel like what my original argument was that I don't know if it should be 13, but it should be really soon. Would be Dracula for the same reasons I gave earlier in the thing that
Definitely.
it's just I don't know if it's 13 or 12, but it should be coming up really soon. What else?
We got
you
what,
guys-
15, 14, 13, so it would be 13. Dracula would be 13.
Well, I don't know if it's going to bump something else out, but let's put it there for now.
Yeah. So we've got what, 3?
Right now we got Ernest, then Tales of the Dark Side, then Dracula.
Okay.
All right. What would be next? Now we're starting to get the top 10's gonna be rough, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna.
We're all huddled around a little piece of paper and trying to look.
Here.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And honestly, this is the best way to do it. There might be a little bit of dead air, but you can. We're building tension here.
Yeah.
We need some. Horror
We don't even know what's coming.
We need some horror movie music here. You know, for sake of the way that this is playing out, you don't necessarily want to do 2 Halloween movies back to back, I would think.
I agree.
So one's got to be farther away from the other.
I was definitely thinking they'd both be in the top 10 though. I didn't think they'd fucking I think Halloween's very, very close to the bottom. Halloween H2O is the one that I think should be a little higher on the list, definitely.
Okay, so if you have to sacrifice
I
one,
don't know about. Well, I guess we could throw it on there at 12. Halloween.
Here's the scary music we got.
Whatever, man. Han shot first.
only 15 seconds so we don't get sued.
And that was 15 seconds.
I think
Nice.
American Werewolf has to come here soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
I don't know if you guys are in agreeal with that or not.
I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
It was a great flick, but a little outdated.
I mean, it would fall in line with
Kill
where we're
yourself, Dave.
It would definitely fall in line with the rest of them there.
Like I said, these aren't set in stone.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could still float them. We're just trying to get an ish.
Yeah. All right, so now we're into the top 10, yes?
Number 10, yes, sir.
What do we have left here?
We have The Shining, Evil Dead, Trick or Treat, Return of the Living Dead, The Gate, Lost Boys, Scream, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th Part 2, and Halloween.
I would probably have to say, just based on what we saw, I would go with Trick or Treat in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys got me 2-1.
Here's
so.
the reason why. Okay, every other movie on there I've seen, so for me those movies would take priority.
Precedence,
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
You know.
We could put it there. I'm fine with that. I have seen all of them, and it is. I think you guys change your mind once you see it,
Sure.
but it is. It's also, it doesn't have the staying power of some of these, so it should lose some points because
Yeah.
I think that movie came out in like 2009. So I
Yeah.
mean, it also doesn't have that 20-year.
That legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised when you do check it out.
Okay, so we're at 9 now. Yes.
9. I'd probably put Return of the Living Dead at 9.
That or The Gate.
I was gonna say The Gate.
I'd go with The Gate.
and then
I was
Return of
going-
the Living Dead.
Let's go with The Gate and then Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I would go with The Gate at 9, Return of the Living Dead at 8. Because again, The Gate's. I mean, it's fucking puppets. Okay, they're little claymation creatures in it. It's not going to hold up to what else we've got on that list. Okay, it's on there. It's noteworthy, but it's not going to hold up.
Okay, and that one.
All right, so we're down to 7. 7. It's getting tough now.
Now you're getting to some. Okay, we got Shining, Lost Boys, Scream, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Evil Dead. Not because it's any worse than any, just because something has to go there. But you guys feel free to say whatever. I think it'd be Lost Boys. Nobody agreed. Okay, so clearly that's not the one we're thinking.
Okay, looking at it on a basis of who we've got there,
How do we not even have one fucking Nightmare on Elm Street represented?
hey, this is the way it goes. That we shot off a list. This is what came up. Do you have one that you want to switch out, like I did for mine?
My movies are awesome.
Okay,
Though.
so that's a no. All right, look at the 5-second gap on there. Okay,
Let's probably put Scream.
yeah,
I'd do a Scream.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Scream's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those movies that you know the. I mean, it's kind of.
I don't know. I've watched Scream 1,000 times. I think that movie's fucking amazing.
I do like Scream. I would either go, for me personally, I'd go Scream or Hellraiser. Okay, that just me. Don't get mad at me, Dave.
to me, the three that are coming up would be Lost Boys, Shining, and Scream. Those are my what. But I was thinking it was, for me personally, it was Lost Boys, then Shining, then Scream, and then I was gonna have an actual really tough time with the remaining 4 movies.
I would
but
for me, I'd have to go with Shining next.
Yeah.
That's for me. I'd go with Shining next. I hold Lost Boys kind of up on a bit of a pedestal.
So are we going Shining, Scream?
Yeah. Yeah,
No?
go Shining next.
Okay, we
yeah.
could still this isn't. We could still argue these afterwards. We're just trying to get the 1st list up.
Yeah, just Shining next.
Okay,
And then Scream. And where are we at now? We're in
top 5, baby.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We got the remaining movies: Lost Boys, Evil Dead, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, and Halloween.
At number 5,
I'm at Lost Boys or Evil Dead.
I'm at Hellraiser or what do we got? Hellraiser, Evil Dead. Hellraiser.
Evil Dead, Lost Boys, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, and Halloween.
I would go Lost Boys.
I'd go Lost Boys or Hellraiser. I'm interchangeable.
So
You
all-
gotta go pick it on Hellraiser.
No, I just stated I hold Lost Boys up on a bit of a pedestal. I do personally like Lost Boys more than Hellraiser.
But all
So-
three of us did say Lost Boys should be coming.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm fine with putting Lost Boys at number 5.
Okay, so your clear vote now is Hellraiser, yeah?
I would go with Hellraiser next.
My next two are Hellraiser and Evil Dead.
I gotta go Hellraiser.
I'll go with Hellraiser.
Okay.
Taking the number 4 spot.
Hellraiser at number 4. Jesus Christ.
You notice nobody has spoken up when you keep bringing up Evil Dead.
I know.
Oh, it's gonna get bad. What do we got? Evil Dead,
Halloween and Friday the 13th.
Oh shit!
And I think that's the order. For me, personally, I say number 3 is Evil Dead, number 2 is Friday the 13th, and number 1 is Halloween.
Do you want mine?
Yeah.
Mine is number 3 at Halloween, number 2 at Friday the 13th, number 1 at Evil Dead.
I don't know. Maybe if... I agree with you that part 2 is really cool, but like I don't even think it's the best Friday the 13th.
Switch it out for a different one. Whichever. I mean that.
Well, it's your pick. I just have a lot of respect for Jason.
Yeah.
And I love his movies so much.
I mean, do we want to go with?
It was your pick, sir. It was your
No,
pick.
but I'm saying I'm leaving it open for discussion. Do you guys feel that 3 is better than 2?
I think 1's the best, then 3, then 2, but they're all excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really looking at Friday the 13th.
I know, but I'm just saying as Friday the 13th.
Part 2, because in my head I'm voting for part 1.
Okay.
So to me it's different. I don't care.
For me though, I want to try to get the best choice up there, and my choice may not be the best for Friday the 13th. We're also trying to give the fans an
Well,
experience.
Trick or Treat probably wasn't the best for you guys, but you guys
I understand.
you guys trusted me enough to at least give it a top 10
Sure.
spot. And so like
Do we want to switch that one out for number 3, Dave? You're pretty.
I really
much
don't.
into
I
Friday
really
the
don't.
13th.
I really don't care. I think all 3 of them are amazing. The first
can't
3.
go- I can't
They
go
take
with
they
number
take a severe downspin after that. But the first 3, I think.
I'd still keep it 2.
2? Okay.
But I would put Friday the 13th at number 3.
Agreed.
So we're
I'll
doing
take
Friday the 13th.
at number 3.
So now I'm going to get outvoted.
I don't know.
I'm okay with these top 3, no matter which way it falls. But I mean I said this 100 times throughout the cast. I think Halloween is the ultimate Halloween movie. I mean, especially on Halloween night, because what's separating these is
Well, it's named Halloween.
yeah. What's separating these is what are you going to watch October 30th as opposed to what are you going to watch October 31st.
Okay, okay. I have on the last cast spoke out against Michael Myers in comparison to Jason Voorhees. But and you have to give me credit and don't give me shit on our next tournament cast, okay? I'm giving you credit. Halloween should be watched on Halloween.
Why would I give you shit on?
I'm just saying because we're gonna argue on the next cast over who's gonna win in our video game tournament. So remember that. I'm giving you Halloween. I'm giving you Halloween. Listen, I'm giving you Halloween over Evil Dead.
Because you're going to call in this favor the next time
No, I
Darth
won't.
Vader comes
No,
up.
no,
I
I
know it
won't.
already.
No,
I know it already. You're
No,
going to
I
remember that one time I gave you Halloween? No. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I'm telling you straight out. I'm telling you straight out. You make a valid point. And also because if you're watching horror movies on Halloween, you should be doing something better like trick or treating. So Evil Dead at 30. Evil Dead is number 2. Halloween is number 1.
What do you think, sir?
I'll go with that.
Okay.
I'll agree.
Rock on. So, I'll read it off, and then we'll see if there's any discrepancies.
Okay.
Let me just finish typing. And... Okay. So, we... Number 15. Ernest Scared Stupid.
Stays right there.
I think that's right where it belongs.
I think I have it on DVD. I'm going to go find it and watch it tonight.
Number 14. Tales from the Dark Side.
Yes.
Which is clearly better than Ernest Scared Stupid. Number 13, Dracula, which I think is better than both of those. Mm-hmm. Number 12, Halloween H2O. It's probably about right. Yeah?
Yeah.
Number 11, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Number 10, Trick or Treat. Number 9, The Gate. Number 8, Return of the Living Dead. Number 7, The Shining. Number 6, Scream. Number 5, Lost Boys. 4, Hellraiser. 3, Friday the 13th, Part 2. Number 2, Evil Dead. And number 1, Halloween.
I agree with it.
I think we put a great list together.
I think after a few minutes of confusion and bickering that actually worked out really well.
The only one I don't remember much, but I'm taking your guys' word for it, is The Gate.
Okay.
But I mean, you guys don't remember. You guys don't even know Trick or Treat, so we'll just.
It's a cheesy '80s.
I remember watching
funky horror movie,
but like I can't picture too much of it.
Yeah, it deserves a place on the list because it could be interchanged with Ghoulies or fucking Puppet Master or any of those other
House.
Any of those other.
I thought the tagline for House was brilliant.
Which was
"Ding dong, you're dead."
So I say next year when we do this, we up the ante to
Sure.
like 20 or 25 or go the full 31.
I say next year because we are going to revisit this next year in October. I say we sit down on October 1st and we do a full list of 30, right from the get go.
And then we give a recommended movie to watch every night for the entire month.
Definitely.
That's what I originally had planned in my mind to do this cast, but it just never worked out.
Yeah,
and it's
okay.
way too close to Halloween now. So, but man, some honorable mentions.
Yeah, got one honorable mention.
Night of the Living Dead, obviously.
Night of the I have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we already established Killer Clowns and Psycho and
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
If you're going for something a little bit more modern, I would say the Dawn of the Dead remake was pretty good.
I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, awesome fucking job by Richard Cheese with that movie too.
And granted, the zombies ran, but I'll forgive that.
Yeah. And what's your shirt say? Read it. It's
Zombies
fast zombies suck.
Nice.
On the back, slow zombies rule.
I think Interview with the Vampire. I didn't want to double up on the vampire movies. I actually really enjoy that one. It's not super Halloween-y, but I think it's a great movie.
Yeah,
but yeah, we had Lost Boys. It's like we don't have to double dip into.
Well, that's why there was when we had the list. Nobody mentioned a werewolf movie. That's why I had to toss in American Werewolf in London. I mean, there's that or The Howling, which is another good one.
Really quick, before we wrap it up, what if people aren't into movies? What if they're looking for a Halloween themed video game, music, book, or TV show? Shoot one out really quick.
That's the topic of the week.
Oh, whatever. Okay, so
No video games.
Okay, so other form of media.
Actually, it's not this week. It's next week.
Okay. Don't sweat.
Other media? Or
Yeah.
There's this one awesome horror zombie movie called Dawn of the Dead. And it's a XXX zombie movie.
It's a porn?
It's a fucking porn.
Nice.
The chick's
Nice.
like the zombie chick sucks you off and then you become a zombie. Brilliant.
Cinema Gold.
Books wise, I know it's kind of video game based, but the Resident Evil books are actually really good reads. There's 6 or 7 of them. They're not very long. They go into quite a bit of detail. One very descriptive scene talks about the odor that they were smelling in the Spencer estate. About like how it smelled. The smell of rotting fruit and meat mixed together was really cool. I really dug the Resident Evil books. I could have gone with the Bram Stoker's Dracula or Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but honestly, if you've ever read those books, they're very dry.
Yeah.
They're very dry. They're old school. They're definitely worth reading, but they're very, very dry.
Or don't forget the Zombie Survival Hand Guide.
Oh, most definitely the Zombie Survival Hand Guide, and the follow-up to that, World War Z. Another phenomenal book.
Which is being made into a movie
Yes.
with Brad Pitt of all people. Which I'm curious as to how that's going to even play.
TV shows, The Walking Dead.
Obviously.
You need to watch it if you're not watching it, and that also follows into the comic. Read the comic; it's different than the show. You'll see some similarities, but there is quite a bit of difference.
Walking Dead.
What else you got?
What other TV shows? Grimm is a pretty good show.
Is it? Okay.
Grimm, I really.
There's
dig.
always Buffy and Angel.
Buffy and Angel. It's going back to the old school, which is all on Netflix.
Yeah, all on Netflix. Any other horror themed comic books you can think of? I can think of 30 Days of Night.
30 Days a Night.
Which is worth checking out.
What other ones that they have out? They do. Going back to Buffy, they do have the new Buffy and Angel in comic form now.
Definitely.
Which carries on the afterwards after the shows.
Yeah, the continuing seasons.
Which is awesome.
What about music? Since Tony wants us to avoid video games, no cheap plugs here.
Some horror music: Wednesday 13, Rob Zombie, Sinister Fate.
You had to fit that in there.
I had to fit that in.
Typo Negative.
Typo Negative. There's some really good horror themed bands. Who else? The Misfits. You can fucking listen to the Misfits. Either Glenn Danzig or Michael Graves era.
Woman.
There's a lot of there's actually a couple of good local bands that are.
Did we say woman? It's mother.
Woman.
Oh Jesus! All right.
Not here.
All right. So as we get ready to wrap this up and close it out, why don't you go ahead and shoot off your stuff for us one more time? Get your plug in.
My plug in.
Plug it in.
My band's website is www.sinisterfate.com. We've got a whole bunch of info on shows and stuff, and we got CDs you can buy. You can watch some videos and all types of multimedia fun.
You just released your newest music video, correct?
Yes, a video called Drop Dead Gorgeous, which is basically a zombie love story.
Nice.
Everybody with all the the undead all the undead gimmicks. Like it's always the vampires with the love story. So my premise was I wanted to make a zombie love story. So that's basically what happened.
You are working on another video. There's in talks, kind of pre-production.
We're talking. We're going to be filming the video for the song called Fetish. It's going to be starting in the winter time, around December-ish. We're going to start filming the video. Which there's actually we've come to some terms on it. There's actually going to be two variations of this video. There's going to be a PG version, and then there's going to be a XXX version.
Ridiculous.
It's because of what the song content is and how it's pretty graphic of a song. It sort of needs both.
Okay. Upcoming shows. You said that you got one coming up
in Elgin, over at Douglas Street Bar. It's a sports bar. It's like I said in Elgin. It's going to be October 31st is when we're playing. There's 3 other bands on us with this. Vampire Orchestra, Red 70, Blackstar, I believe they're called, and then Tattoo the Devil.
You want to take?
If I didn't have to fucking work, that sounds awesome.
You want to take 2 seconds because I know you guys just had a pretty big show last weekend.
Last Saturday, yeah, we got the chance to open for My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult. If you're not familiar with them, they're like old school industrial band way back in the Chicago Wax Trax era. Like we're actually just celebrating their 25th year anniversary. For people who are wondering who they are, if you've ever seen the movie The Crow, the big fight scene before when Brandon Lee fights like all the bad guys, the band that's playing on stage is actually them. So that's
nice.
Fucking really awesome band, really cool guys.
Tony, you got anything to that you want to add in? Closing statements?
I wanted to. We didn't get to finish our personal. That's why I'd like to close the show on our. But actually, before we do that, I was wondering if there's any Halloween traditions you guys wanted to share. I don't know if you guys even have any. Something that you do like clockwork almost every year, or not really?
I used to when I was younger, and due to work and whatnot, some of my old traditions have fallen by the wayside, unfortunately. As stupid as it sounds, I really want to carve a pumpkin. I haven't done it in like 15 years, and it's just something I want to do.
You wait till Halloween night to carve this?
No. Okay. I haven't had time yet. I know we're getting close, But also, too, I'm the asshole that would probably forget and, let the pumpkin rot. So I figure, I can wait a little bit. Maybe do it, this week.
That's one of the things I never understood from fucking movies. Like, that it just doesn't translate to real life, where they're always carving pumpkins on Halloween, and they're always setting up the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Who the hell does that? Like, you enjoy it for 8 hours, all that fucking work? Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's a quick thing. For me, my whole thing's changed. The only thing that stayed steady is, like I said, I always make sure to get into Halloween 1 and 2 every Halloween. But from when I was a child, it used to be more like sometimes school, followed by trick-or-treating,
Sure.
followed by the Halloween movies. Then as I got a little bit older and stopped trick-or-treating, it was usually like a house party with my buddies, drink a little, and either prefaced or after by the Halloween movies. And now as I've gotten older, as many of you know, I've been tending bar for the last fucking 7 years. So I'm unfortunately stuck working every Halloween.
You dress up?
Yeah. It's usually a blast. We have to. It's part of, it's usually a blast. It's one of my favorite days all year to work because it's just such a fun environment, but it forces me to watch Halloween at like 3 in the afternoon, which, sucks, but I got to get out because then I'm working till November 1st at 5 in the morning. So
What's what are you dressing up as this year?
I have no idea. I usually pick a couple days beforehand.
Okay.
The problem is behind the bar, you can't go too nuts because if you have a mask, you can't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
It can't be too droopy or draggy because then it'll catch bottles as you're walking back and forth taking orders. It can't be that elaborate at all. You can't be wearing shit.
Should be an Italian.
That's what I should do. Just be
You should be Tony Chow for Halloween.
Tony Chow.
I know you've got some pretty wild Halloween traditions that I've been a part of. You want to share a couple of those?
Let me think. I used to have in recent years. We haven't had any Halloween parties as of late. But yeah, I used to have a Halloween party like every year, and they get pretty out of control and wild. And
a quick story to touch base on one of them. My cousin dressed up as was it Alex from Clockwork Orange? Was that what his name was? Are you familiar with Clockwork? Okay, so he had his codpiece, right?
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. So cops actually show up. We're all older and everything except my cousin's underage. Sorry. And the cop was commenting on his outfit. And he's like, "Where do you keep your wallet and your cell phone?" He literally reaches into his codpiece, pulls out his phone and his wallet, and goes, "Right here." And he's like grabbing his junk in front of the cop. Awesome. Like we're hiding. I'm old enough, and I'm hiding out on the balcony. They're like, "Fuck, man, we're up on the 3rd floor. I'll jump."
Where was that at? I forget which.
Lombard.
Oh wow.
Lombard. Yeah.
Another fine suburb here in Chicago because most of our people don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Look it up, goddammit. Do some work for yourselves.
It's a suburb.
So yeah,
rock on.
That's it.
Do you guys have any other shit you guys got? I wish it wasn't always at the bar. Because fucking all the cool holidays I miss out hanging out with my buddies. Like I haven't had a New Year's Eve with all my friends just sitting around getting plowed in fucking a decade.
Plowed in the ass.
Yes, totally. That's all we do. Sit around, you pull the hair, then you kiss the cheek. It's tough, then tender.
Oh my god! See, this is what happens when we record late. It's literally like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We're getting stupid
Getting a
now.
little slap happy.
So on that note,
did you guys have any? I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to forego with these because these are just the holiday. What's your not Halloween? What's your favorite horror movie of all time?
mine's Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
I gotta go with Night of the Living Dead. That's the whole reason why I do the whole zombie, the whole zombie look. And, zombies are, to me, my favorite, horror thing of all time.
Monster creature.
Creature or whatever, zombies. And, Night of the Living Dead is, that's the start of every, the modern zombie that's it. That's the start of it. Every zombie film that there is in existence pretty much owes their existence to Night of the Living Dead.
Sure. George Romero established the rules and everything like that everybody else kind of built off.
Yeah, pre that they were just people.
They were
walking slowly,
you had
you had White Zombie with Bela Lugosi, which was more about the voodoo, and it wasn't the undead. It was something completely different.
Did you ever notice that Romero kind of looks like Stanley?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But with way worse teeth.
Yeah. Could you imagine if
he always
two
wears
got
those
together?
puffy jackets.
Oh God, he does.
What about you, sir?
Probably Halloween. I don't know though.
Yeah.
I have too many.
You have to decide by next year. You have to give us a definitive answer.
Yeah, because if it's all time across all forms of horror, I mean,
Don't answer it
Yeah.
now. We got to keep them. We got a cliffhanger for
Cliffhanger
next year.
for 1 full year.
Clearly, you've never watched The Walking Dead as it premieres because they literally went a full fucking year between seasons, and it sucked. So tune in next year to get Tony's fucking answer.
All right. Is that
That's it.
all right? That concludes it. This has been episode 2. I guess we'll let you guys know when the next one's coming up because they're not very scheduled.
Yeah.
But happy Halloween, everybody! Enjoy your holiday.
Good night. Good fright.
Peace.
Graveyard underground, 6 feet, pretty girl, long legs, red dress, smooth skin, nightless, high heels, toe tech, cold lips, body back, sweet dreams.